If you're watching this on replay, you might be in for a treat. If you're watching this live, we might possibly have a special guest today. Now, this special guest is kind of a wild card human, which makes him so amazing. So we don't know when we think it's going to happen, but that just, if you know kind of situation, and it'll all make sense if it does happen. But I will say, you're going to want to hit the like button. You're going to want to share this with some friends. Regardless of where this route goes, we're going to have a great time today. And so thank you guys for being here. My name is Dan C. Bearded. This is the Dr. Nick's YouTube channel, and this specifically is the 142nd episode in a row of the Doctor's Orders live stream, where you guys get to know the Dr. Nick's beard product, body product, all over life company, and also the people behind the scenes at that company. One of those gentlemen has a pin, I believe we could call it a pin in his facial hair today, and his name is Nick. Nick, I'm going to give you the spotlight to see how you're doing, and then explain what is this man accessory we have going on today.
All right. So before I even start talking about it, if Jill is in any position to safely type because she's not driving and not in the group chat irresponsibly while on the highway, brand name, totally forget. But before we get into, I don't know. I stole it from Jill. So this is where this story starts. So I steal Jill's things. Jill can't have nice stuff because I take it. This is an example of that. So this is this cool design of a hair clip. We'll just undo it all. We'll just redo it all. Let's just start from scratch. It's this guy.
Whoa. Looks like an alien.
Dude, you know what it looks like? It almost looks like the sword from Halo, like maybe like this way. I don't know. Who's with me? What video game weapon does this thing look like? Or sigil? I don't know. It does. It's very sci-fi looking, but it's plastic. It's got some stretch to it. And there's a bunch of these out there, but this one feels as though they are entitled to charge exorbitant prices for their hair clips. And they blame it on the exact size and shape of like this thing and like this little hole right here. But this thing, you make a little bun or whatever you want to do, and you grab whatever part you want to normally put a tie in, and you just stab that thing right through there, and that locks in to the end, and it holds it. Not too far through. But you go like, one of these. There we go. How about that?
Interesting.
Dude. I forgot that I had it in the other day, and I didn't. It was just a day where I didn't have to take a shower that night before bed, and totally forgot about it, and lasted through the whole night. Normally in the morning, I'll wake up to any sort of, or like any stage of almost bun, like knotted, wrapped around my neck or my ear. All sorts of options. This, 3-4 nights now, this thing stayed in all night, no problem.
Okay.
It does look like the Halo sword. I knew it looked familiar.
Yeah, it does. It absolutely does.
But it works out really, really well. I definitely recommend giving it a shot over a hair tie. And actually, I got to redo this whole thing now because now it's all floppy. This is no good.
All right, here we go, guys. Live demo.
We're gonna go
of the Nick Beard knot with a hairpin.
And it's after being in the shop all day too, so it's nice and messy.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, here we go. Now I can see myself.
1, 2, triple, quadruple. He's a madman.
And then you just give it one of these guys.
Dang. JB, did you watch that? JB's been rocking the beard knot a lot these days too.
Dude, I recommend trying the pin.
Yeah.
I had never done it. I'm a fan.
Yeah. Triple with a double bow tie?
That was I think triple with a double bow tie with a pin slip.
Yep. That'd be a good video title.
I think that we might get some interesting SEO. You're either going to stay and watch that one, or you're going to realize you're in the wrong place real quick, I think.
Yeah. Well, have I shared on here my first year, my #1 ranking video for the longest time had a average of 30-second watch time.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
If for anybody who's not familiar, I reviewed a company that had a seasonal scent. I actually really enjoyed it. And its name of the scent had 4 letters, and it was XXXX. And so that was the title of it. It was the review of XXXX. And people searched for that and found something else.
They probably searched for it in conjunction with, beard, or, part of the word beard. Like they could have looked for bear.
Correct.
And then they dropped a letter. We added some letters. And next thing you know, your watch time is terrible because they realized it was not what they were looking for.
Yep. And we just had contact with our potential special guest, you guys. And so there is a link sent to that special guest. So it looks like it could be happening. So again, if you guys don't mind, if you've been here for a while, you're in luck. You are in luck. Christy says, but it's YouTube. I bet the search, like if you were to look at the search history of YouTube, I bet it would be utterly mind-blowing. The things that we're like, people are searching YouTube for that.
And then the stuff that makes it through like the filters and the way
right.
like the stuff people find is ridiculous.
Right. Maybe they were thinking that was the way around it. You add an extra letter and then it's not caught.
Yeah. Hey, that's what it is.
Yep. Could be. All right, Nick. How has the beard been feeling lately? And everybody in the chat, because most of us are going through some seasonal change right now. Have you noticed any differences with the feel, the styling, the shedding, or any aspects with your beard lately?
Oh, shoot. I wish I could say I do, but I don't. No, I haven't. It's not normal for me either. My allergies are kicking my ass right now, though, too.
Oh, yeah.
And so I'm shocked that I'm not like itchy or flaky or some form of uncomfortable, but I'm not, oddly enough.
I haven't really been either.
Yeah.
My beard's been feeling fantastic.
What's going on with that?
Yeah, I don't know if it's like the positive season change because we're going from a drier season to a more humid season, so it might feel better, but I haven't really noticed anything too crazy with the beard.
I haven't either, man. It's like, I don't know. Maybe it's because our weather hasn't really switched either. Like we're kind of all over the place. Like today it's like what? Right now it's 57 outside.
56 here. Yep.
Yeah.
We do have a guest that's going to be joining us, and judging by the attire, it does seem like it's warmer than 57 there. So
boy.
Yeah, I do. Nick, would you like to set the stage, my friend?
Oh man, we have him in the. Do we have him in the green room? Is he backstage?
Yes.
Look at that. All right. Well, as promised, long awaited. Really, the introduction has already happened. If you know, the nastiest of all crackers is about to join us, aka Cracker Nasty himself, aka Master Hennessy, aka Carrie Hennessy himself, live in the flesh. Apparently, I don't even see him yet. So once Dan pulls the curtain back, we'll all get to see him here.
Here we go. We had to let people know on our end. I hope you guys let people know as well. And we may have time for a question segment. So if you have some questions that pop up as you hear from Cracker Nasty, please let us know. And yeah, Florida man JB is excited.
You should be, because ladies and gentlemen, this is one of nature's very own prototypes. It was some sort of high-powered mutant, never even considered for mass production.
No, I don't think the world could handle multiples.
No, you can't handle one. You see where it keeps them.
All right. Are you ready, Nick?
I'm ready. Let's do it. I don't know if the internet's ready, but I'm ready. Let's do this.
Right. Let's go ahead and welcome in our friend. There might be technical adjustments as we get started, guys, but welcome in our friend. You only need one, Jill says. Well, welcome in our friend, Cracker Nasty, to the show and possibly the live internet for the first time ever in the history of this world. Here we go.
First and potentially
What's going on, boys? All right.
There he is.
Sounding great and looking better.
Absolutely the intro to the internet, for sure.
Dude,
Let's
yeah,
go.
could be definitely the first and potentially the last. We'll see how it goes.
That's how most things go for me.
You know what? That's worked out pretty well so far, though, because if it only happens once, did you really want it twice?
No,
No.
there's nothing epic happens twice.
No, it doesn't. It's just like nothing really that epic happens before 2 a.m. It's just the way.
When you're right, you're right.
You know, I tell you what, this is already off to a great start. Carrie and I haven't actually talked to each other face to face like this in what, dude? How long has it been? Like,
Oh, it's got to be over 10 years. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's got to be about 12 years since we've been like face to face on video. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Well, and see, and look at, so what precedes you is, I don't know how much of any of homework have you done, but this group of people that we have here in the live chat, and of course, people that watch this later, people that are in the chat later, they've all heard plenty of stories.
We've got some stories, bro.
Yeah.
We got some stories.
We created this random wheel of tangents. We run out of things to talk about. We spin it. And your name is just on the wheel of tangents, and it just remains there. So if we run out of stuff to do, we spin the wheel, and if the wheel runs out of stuff to give us, or I just have bad luck that day, I get stuck telling a Cracker Nasty story.
There's a few of them.
You know what? There is more than a few. That's for, dude.
They're pumped.
Oh man.
Remembering them is the hard part. And we didn't have cell phones, like legit cell phones. So it's not like there was, photo documentation of everything. Thank God.
Dude, I'm not sure if either one of us would actually be allowed to be on this live stream right now. If there was video evidence of the things that.
Well, I would go to, so Carrie, I used to be a teacher, and I'd have to run parent-teacher conferences.
Yeah.
And I would get parents saying the same thing all the time, and they're like, kids these days, they're so much worse. They're getting in so much trouble. I'm like, no, you just didn't get caught. They didn't have cameras and social media. What are you talking about?
Or they sucked.
Yeah. We were
Those
horrible.
parents could have sucked.
Yep. Oh, you're muted, Nick.
That's a distinct possibility. They could have just been boring.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
That's totally possible. So dude, tell us where are you right now? You had an emergency phone swap. We almost had so just to put it out there, I mean, fate has thwarted this happening. I mean, who knows how many times now? Like over the years, it's probably prevented the thought from even entering my mind. And then since it has, either surgeries or weather or work or travel or other stuff, and now front-facing cell phone cameras have tried to get in the way of this actually happening, but it failed.
Yeah, the old front-facing camera decided to go tits up this morning, so I scampered from a Miami hotel room into an Uber and hit the first AT&T store and found the first person who spoke some semblance of English.
That's perfect. And I realized, so that was a person that actually ran T store while they were working.
Fumbled my way through that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then did the mad sprint across the street to some very strange airline-based coffee shop. It's got like half a plane in here. There's a sombrero and there's a lot of stuff going on. It's very Miami though.
Amazing.
And here I was thinking this was the virtual default background on a new Samsung that they swapped out.
This is my green screen.
yeah, exactly. That's what I was. It's perfect. That's actually it. It comes complete with props. It's perfect. See, and then who gave him a hat?
I don't know. It's fabulous.
All I know is I just got a tea dropped off by a very pretty woman.
And what's
fantastic?
As we're cold up here, what's the weather like down there, Carrie? What's the high today?
We're freezing our balls off. It's probably a high of 89.
Oh,
balmy. You need to top with the thick straps for that kind of weather.
It's nice and breezy, but it's not like you're not gonna wear any pea coats today.
So where are you right now? What part of Miami?
I am just outside of downtown, near on Biscayne.
Okay, nice.
Yeah,
Vanilla Ice is stomping ground.
I love it.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. I ran into him not too long ago. That's not That's not a good story for this live stream, but
It
we got
doesn't,
some friends in common.
it doesn't fit into the PG-13 box. And so,
No.
like, here's the funny part about. So I've had to get really creative. So like we have a family friendly audience. We like to say we have
Sure.
edgy topics, but we like to keep our pants up, keep it clean. So,
Right.
What's interesting about that charter is that I've had to dig into the bag of Cracker Nasty stories, and I've had to figure out how to
You gotta
kind of
clean those up.
Yeah, I had
Yep.
to take the edges off a little bit. Had
PR
to,
team.
I had to put lipstick on those pigs a little. You know what? You'd be surprised what the concepts I think that I've conveyed in a, like, if you get it, you get it, and if you don't, then you probably shouldn't have sort of way.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. We've heard some good ones, but Cracker, Mr. Cracker, if I may, what for career? Let people know. Nick has shared before, but how do you make a living? How do you survive? What's the main job?
Well, the main gig I do, I'm a merchant mariner, merchant sail, ship captain, and I do 28 days on a ship at a time. And then I fly out of there, and then I have 28 days to my own devices, which is disastrous. So I'm not the kind of fella who should just be wandering around this world for 6 months out of the year with a pocket full of cash and nothing to do.
Idle hands are the devil's playground, and
So I started a charter sport fishing business in the Florida Keys, and I do that when I'm not out to sea and my main gig.
Would
Awesome.
it be safe to say that gig of chartering is literally for the purposes of giving you like a calendar that you at least have to loosely adhere to for the 28 days that you're
A little bit.
Okay, so it's kind of like it's more of an accountability buddy than it is a job.
I like that, an accountability buddy.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's a job that I want. It's not a job that it keeps the pantry full of fancy stuff and the refrigerator full of imported beers, and life's too short to drink cheap whiskey too. So
that it is, and here, and so like, it would be like whatever you're doing anyway, though. Like, look at whatever we'd be doing if we didn't have anything else to do, like off of Gibsonton or out, wherever.
Right.
You'd be taking people out that don't know what the hell they're doing on a boat, making them do stupid stuff, taking photos of it, and then helping them catch fish. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's how we spent the first like 4 years we knew each other.
I figured I wanted to do it in the best place that's the most fun, where the fishing is the best and all the things are, I want to be like on vacation all the time, but still sometimes get up in the morning and do some work.
Well, with the things you clearly have working against you, having the Keys as your backdrop, right, gives you a certain set of things that are kind of automatically working for you from a Yelp standpoint, right? Like, you're not going to have, ugly scene. You're not going to have bad scenery. It's like, you're not going to get the Yelp review that you'd get like off the coast of like Maine, right? Like,
or even Daytona.
Right.
Yeah, we're way better.
You got to dress up your attitude to make up for those surroundings.
We don't let the uggos in.
No. See, that's it. I like that though. That's pretty good. I mean, it's almost like it's like you're doing it in a place where like the bar is already, the people are there because they want to be there. The weather is awesome. They're there at the time of year they feel like being there.
And it's a fun. They step on the boat ready to have a great day. They're there to have a good time. You can't make a fish eat, right? You can't. But you could put all the pieces together, and then I'm in the smile business, I do a lot of families, and if say the fishing's slow, I'm like, okay, well, there's this super clear water here. You can see down to the bottom and 100 feet deep. Let's do some cannonballs off the top and jump in and mix it up. And if people start getting seasick, I'll take them to local restaurants or drive them around in the canals where there's no waves and play some music and give them the vacay vibes.
I love that.
That's what it is, dude. And I mean, like you said, it's like you put all the pieces together, and in your case, it's like all the pieces by themselves, even if they don't ignite into the end goal, all of them individually are pretty sweet.
I'd probably do it for free. Don't tell my clients that, but I'd probably do it for free. And like you said, we used to do it for free all the time. It was called Beer Can Island back in our day.
You had a lot of practice.
Mm-hmm.
And Carrie, what are you guys fishing for? Because I grew up on Lake Michigan, and we'd go salmon, perch, walleye, or if I was feeling crazy, just go battle some carp. But what are you guys fishing for down there mainly?
Summertime, we're doing a lot of mahi, which we call them dolphin. There's a lot of tuna early or late, a bunch of snapper on the reef, and the big grouper just opened up. So we've been picking away at them too.
Amazing.
A lot of food
is like my jam.
What's not to like, right?
I mean, mahi's like mahi's my year-round favorite. Grouper's definitely my summertime favorite.
Yep.
Because you get so many fresh, mahi in Boston, right?
Dude, so what we get is the tuna that you don't get is the tuna that we get, right? So we get a lot of bluefin, a lot of big ass shoulders that are like the size of my quads, like
right,
big ass tunas. What's funny though is like the really big ones, like the ones they'll use for like toro belly and stuff like that.
Yeah,
they still only get graded in Japan. So people like to talk about carbon footprint. Go eat some toro. It's been caught in Boston on a diesel boat, brought back in, shipped over to Japan on ice overnight, graded at a harbor, chopped up, take back, staked up, and sent back to a sushi distributor in New York and driven out to Philly. So it's like, I mean, there's no way to do that right because they do still only grade it in Japan. But
hashtag eat local.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you. So like, what we do get up here, like the salmon this time of year is ridiculous. The tuna this time of year is ridiculous.
Hey.
And what ends up getting pretty crazy up here this time of year, when lobsters start coming in, I think like the lobster pound I just saw down the street was $4 a pound for chicken lobsters. So I mean, it's like, you can't beat that. And then what you would like up here is this place Island Creek right down the road from us. I don't know if I know you're an oyster guy, but if you go and you look on the menu, you see ICOs or Island Creek oysters.
Yeah,
like literally 5 minutes from my house. And
they're a little bit smaller.
Yeah, they have a bunch of varieties, but yeah, the ones they ship are the smaller, flatter ones. They ship really well.
Okay.
Yeah, you'd be in heaven up here though, dude. They got like, you go to this place and it's got their lobster or their oyster houses sitting out in the water. And
I'm into that.
Oh, they hand you a list, and it's like a list this long, with a golf pencil to check off 12 different types of oysters. It all come from.
Yeah. Oysters in a cool draft beer. It's got me a little worked up.
Oh yeah. I figured that would do it though. I mean, but see, look at this. Someone made you look really nice and presentable on your website. So, I mean,
I was on a date there. Some chick took that picture.
That's fantastic.
My social media manager was like, "There's no way I'm posting this." I'm like, "Look, we're going to talk about where to go to get the food. This is the food. Take the picture. It's fine. Stop judging."
This is what you do. You go there with 2 people and you order enough food for 4, and you sit there until you eat all of it.
But that place in that picture is great. So you can get them like your catch cooked like 3 ways. They bring out this massive platter. You could put a body bag on it. It's huge. And you can get like a pound and a half per person. And I do like a jalapeno encrusted. There's one with like a key lime butter sauce and Parmesan diced tomatoes. And then I get a coconut fried. And they put like this apple something or other sauce on top. It's ridiculous.
And this is like you pick your fish, and then it's like you pick your type of fish, and then you just pick the way you want it finished, basically.
No, I send them with a bag of fish that they just caught on my boat. I send them straight to the restaurant. Tell them bring us. I give them a Ziploc bag full of ice and say, here's your fillets. Go here, order this. Thank me later.
Wow. So you have a place set up where they'll bring the stuff they catch on your boat and they cook it up for them in the kitchen and sit them down.
Yeah, I got half a dozen of them.
Oh yeah, nice work, dude.
I'm living in the right spot, man.
Dude, you figured it out. This is good. Look
figured
at that.
It out. Well, you gotta make it down, gentlemen.
Well, we do.
I've never been to the Keys.
It's the
Really?
spot, man.
Yeah.
I got some extra room. I know you guys are both fathers, and they got a lot of irons in the fire. But open invite.
Oh,
Okay.
dude. Well, count me in. I told the story a while back about the first time you invited me down to Marathon, and you had me convinced that you were living in a trailer that had like office carpet on the floor next to the river or next to a little canal.
Yeah,
Show
yeah.
up
It
and
was
it's
not
like
the case.
nope. I
I
show up and it was a very much not trailer on stilts, with a very large vessel parked on said canal out back. Was not a John boat.
no.
Nope. I'm not even sure you call that kind of boat that was a boat. I think that's bigger than a boat.
We managed to pull some fun out of that trip.
Yeah. I got introduced to the brass monkey, and I had my
Oof.
first grouper Reuben, and that was the week, of course, during Fantasy Fest. And so I got to be a minority of people that was wearing clothing, walking around in public.
Wow.
Yeah.
Out in Key West. That was quite the experience.
We definitely issue clothing during that week.
Yeah. Yep. That is. I like the term disposable clothing goes away, and it turns into rinsable clothing.
Yeah. Yep. That's right. That's right. Paint is a thing.
Yeah.
Paint is it's a whole medium that it takes on a whole another. It ain't just for canvas anymore, boys and girls.
No, it's not. Carrie and I had a bartender that was wearing nothing but paint at one point in Key West, and
How did he look?
well, so the funny part is Carrie's plot at that point was to talk to her about her bikini as if it was a bikini, not as if it was body paint. So that was again,
Big
you know,
break.
the ideas on this guy. He's an innovator, a real paradigm shifter, if you will.
Out of the box, baby. Out of the box.
That's right. Hatched from a hot rock in the bottom of a volcano somewhere. That was so. What the story that I told was actually not so much about Fantasy Fest or about body paint. The story was actually about the amount of guns that I had to remove from your expedition before I drove it down there because my vehicle crapped out and I had to swing by your place and pick up your truck. And you're like, hey, so before you drive that down, you're gonna want to give it a quick sweep.
Florida.
Yeah, it's Florida. I mean, look at them.
Hey, there's one right there.
Both reasons. But yeah, I think it was like the armful of guns that I had coming out of that, out of your unlocked vehicle in your driveway in your house in Riverview was.
If you have enough of those, people don't want to steal from you.
You know what? You kind of don't need locks. Like you got enough Glocks. You don't need locks. That's
It's
almost
a
like
little walk tall and carry a big stick. Deterrence. Eisenhower, one of those fellas said that.
And I gotta get Cracker's perspective on this one because I believe there's two really good Cracker Nasty stories. One involved like a butcher's area and some property. That was a wild one. And then, but my one that was the most interesting involved you guys coming close to death. And I'm well aware that probably doesn't narrow it down much. But coming close to death, you guys were on some kind of boat.
We were.
Engine failure was involved and a rigger was involved, something along that line, and throwing a beer bottle.
Well, that doesn't sound far from the truth for sure. That one I'm kind of glazed over, but the one of my favorites, which is kind of tied in with what you're talking about in this farm, was we had this heavy equipment. It was a front end loader. And a lot of people have bonfires, on farms. Well, we had these giant dried up fish ponds, and I would drag whole trees,
Huge
3 or 4 whole trees across this pond, and we would have, it was like Burning Man every weekend.
You can see these fires from space. I'm confident.
Yeah. Yeah. So one time, Nick thought it would be a good idea to like grab the bucket. So I just raised it up and his feet were dangling and so he wouldn't let go. So I'm like, okay, well, let me just, make the bucket jump a few times, and he hangs on and he doesn't fall.
I was like, oh, it's
I'm
like
like,
bull riding.
hey, look at the grip on this son of a gun. So I drive him over the fire and lift him up in the air, and he's solid dangling over like 40 feet of flames. I would not do this again in hindsight.
I was
Nor
far
was
less
Nick, I'm
flammable
sure.
back then too.
But I was extremely impressed. This guy could have been on Ninja Warrior in his younger days. He wasn't turning loose for nothing.
And
Nope.
Nick, don't you have medically terrible hands now and you have all the issues in your grip?
I do. So, since then, I've had 2 hand surgeries. I've had 2 on this hand and 2 on this hand, sorry, and they're going to do 1 on this hand. But I got trigger finger now. It goes like this and it locks up and you got to pop it open with the other hand.
Oh, yeah.
That's fun. So, oh yeah, terrible. But he's right. Like that was like bull riding, but only with your hands. Like that was, and I don't know what it was. See, it started off as I wonder if so here's my stupid head at the time. It was, I wonder if it can pick me up. It's a tractor. So of course it picks me up. And then of course it was like, it was too high, right? So I didn't want to let go because it was already too high up. And Carrie's like, oh man, he's stubborn. He's not letting go. Let's shake it around. So at that point, I'm like, well, I better hold on. I'm too high. And he's trying to shake me off of this damn thing. So then this asshole drives me over and starts dangling me over a fire. So now I'm like a moth over a campfire at this point. But
It's a big fire.
Yeah. I mean,
It's a big fire.
This was a 300 square foot hole.
Jeez.
There was a 90% chance of failure on that.
It was real bad because I was thinking about the mechanics of that going wrong. Like if I had let go, which I've been known to do, like I've let go mid rope swing before, like over a platform and landed on my ass so hard I've given myself a concussion. Like it was way in the realm of possibilities that I would have just let go off of that. And if I did,
Super more than likely.
Imagine trying to scamper from the middle of that fire out to the edge of that fire. That would have ended poorly.
The only thing to do would have been to bury you in that hole. Because there's no way I could have gotten out of that unscathed. No. What do you do? I couldn't have got you out, number one.
It would have just bulldoze it right over. Would have been the way.
It's the only way. It was great knowing you. I love you, brother. I'll name a drink after you one day.
That's it. I'll name a boat. You know, hopefully I would have had like a tuna, like a boat named after.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. There you go.
Yeah. That would have been good.
And with that, so I do, Carrie, I do a show on Monday nights. It's my live stream, and I do a segment called Florida Man Monday, and I pull a Florida headline from the week before. Like yesterday's was a guy just got arrested for bigamy because he married 3 different women in 3 different counties in Florida, and none of them knew about each other. And so it led to all the problems. Or a guy that broke into Space Force and he stole a vehicle, broke into a federal facility to tell them about the battle going on right now between the aliens and dragons in space.
Somebody's got to tell them.
Yeah, well, right. We got to let the world know. Now,
who's going to do it?
I'm guessing a lot of your clients are not Florida men and they're people visiting, but do you ever get any crazies, any just wild people, maybe some influences involved on there, or is it all pretty mild?
Well, I don't allow hard liquor on the boat anymore.
Okay. Anymore.
So,
yeah, I did have a client, and him and his wife, they were super pumped. I was jazzed for them. They were having such a great time. Oh, by the way, dogs and chickens and everything running around here. Yeah, so they started hitting shots, and they were loving life until about 10 o'clock when it really started to sink in. But they started drinking about 0800.
I was gonna say 20. Are we talking 8? Are we talking 10 o'clock or 2200?
No, they started at 08, and they were lit by 10.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
AM. Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're about to kill each other by noon. And I don't even see where it goes wrong. It was like just one of those, she sneezed and he didn't say like bless you or something. It was nothing. It was nothing, but boy, I could see her fangs pop out, and she was just laying into him. Her eyes glazed over. They had those shark eyes,
Oh
and
yeah.
he was like a scared little hamster, and she was
That
just
poor
feeding off
bastard.
of it because it was real bad. It was real bad. And then I was like, I had to say so. At some point, I was like, look, she's like, she's like chasing him around. I'm like, hey, you just simmer, all right, simmer
Yeah.
down. Just
Have
have
to
a
have a
seat.
domestic
Have a
abuse
seat.
of the
This
boat.
is getting to be a safety concern.
Yeah.
So she turns on to me, and then
Oh
he
no.
immediately thinks he's gonna white knight defend her. I'm like, there's
Oh,
nothing to defend here, buddy. This is only gonna go one way. You don't want you don't want that way. I don't want that way. You don't want that way. And
No.
this is a long way for you guys to swim.
I
Jill
really
doesn't
don't want to
appreciate you
rewind
sharing
my
the
harpoon
stories. All
with you.
right.
Yeah, it wasn't great. So no hard liquor, at least before 8 in the morning for my clients.
It's a good rule.
Feels like when
They
did
can
we
they
do
can
this, Carter?
they can dabble in their White Claws or whatever. That's fine.
Yeah.
A couple of crispy tall ones with the boys is fine. But I learned my lesson on that deal.
Yeah, that can go south real quick.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Real nice, Jill. I think I would have remembered that. I mean, maybe not actually.
Right.
but I would remember
Doesn't sound like you would have.
So there's a reason. There's a reason we haven't been down to the Keys. It would probably be like, I don't even know what would have happened like 5 years ago, Nick and Jill hanging out with 5 years ago, Carrie, because that would have been problematic. I see current state, Nick and Jill, current state, Carrie, actually going surprisingly well.
I'm much less feral.
Yeah. Yeah, you seem to be a little more domesticated than before.
Oh, we don't use that word around here.
Cross the line, Nick.
Yeah, that's right. You did mention the brass monkey. I'm even going to be allowed back in after July. So
Look at that.
Let's go.
So
it's been a very tame few months.
Okay,
11
so
months.
spin the wheel. What's the PG? What's the PG-13 version of the surroundings of the monkey?
Well, it's the loveliest shag carpet on the walls.
Mhm.
A lot of blacklight Elvises.
Yeah.
We got the old punching game machine, which I'm still reigning champ. Not because I'm
There we go.
strong. It's just I've been in there so many times. I know exactly how to do it. So it's more technique than it is ogre strength. It's open till 4 a.m. 365 days a year. And it's a mile from the house, which is a bit of a dangerous combo.
Yeah. That's one hell of a interesting golf cart ride too, because what I find interesting about that ride is I always remember going to the monkey. And here's what's weird about this time that I spent down there in Marathon. It's not that I don't remember the ride back, right? Because that would make sense. What I do remember though is always walking back. And then somehow I remember the next day a story of going again out to the monkey, starting there on the golf cart. So like every night started off on the golf cart, but it seemed to be this very strange paradoxical existence of this one-way golf cart, because always left on the golf cart, always returned on foot. Somehow the golf cart was always there in the morning. Just don't quite know how it ended up working out.
Well, usually taxis and usually blur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little blurry. Yeah, it gets a little blurry down there at nighttime.
And whatever isn't blurry isn't PG-13.
Right. Yeah, exactly. It's like the scrambled channels on the old, like on old.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, that's
Good
exactly
quality time there.
Yeah.
Quality time.
Oh, yeah. You look through that scrambled stuff long enough. There's content to be had. What is this? We have the monkey.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
And Carrie might be in that picture.
Well, Freddie Bye, he's been playing guitar there for 43 years.
Wow.
It's pretty great. Pretty great.
Oop. Okay, you're breaking up a little bit, but you'll come back. You'll come back.
There we go.
Getting there. Oddly enough, your video is fine. It's just the audio gets funny.
It's mine, right?
Yeah, there you go. It's
You
back.
good? Yep.
It's back.
Yeah, Rick. I've been on this call for 40 minutes. I've had this phone for 42.
He means it too, by the way, everyone. Like, actually.
we got a photo of a device in a box, like on the counter. Yeah. This device is literally hot off the presses, like hot off the. I don't even know. You don't even have your number swapped over to this one yet, probably.
Yeah. Or like, do you want your Face ID? Do you want your? Yeah, that'd all be great some other time.
Yeah, let's do that later.
I got business here. Let me tell you what. I wasn't taking no for an answer. It's been, like you said, it's been rains and toils and surgery and being offshore and travel and international criminality. But there's no. I wasn't missing this one.
Yeah, we got to ask about that. So we had planned to do a stream previously, and when I checked in with Mr. Cracker, we get one of the most terrifyingly unprepared like photos of my working life. I open it and it's a man with his face, just his face, his eyes closed, and has stitches going across his eyelids with no explanation other than I get the stitches out Tuesday morning. I think I'll be good. What was that?
So I was getting these really bad cysts, like, and I've never had them before, but it just in the last 2 years, I got like 4 of them, and they hurt. So I go to the eye doctor, and he's like, well, you're getting a little older, your tear ducts aren't working so well, and you've got some droop in your upper eyelids. And I was like, yeah, so what is that just means I'm getting old, right? He's like, well, yes, but we can probably get it covered by insurance if you take these eye tests, and it proves that, we'll just tape them open and see if you do better. So I did much better. It was like 40% improvement. Oh, wow. And I was always a squinty guy. I thought I was like I smoke my cigarette and squint.
You were always just trying to look like Nick Nolte.
It didn't last long. Yeah, I was like, hey, this is very James Dean. I didn't realize you make a face, you'll get stuck like that forever, just like your mom tells you.
Yep.
Oh, they cut that lower part off, and I got it covered by insurance, and I can see much better. But that was it was not pretty in the beginning.
And I have the droopy eyelids like already, like they go down, so I feel like that's in my future. Yeah,
it does. It did help with the vision, and I've got I'm driving a ship at night. I work midnight to noon, 12 hours a day, every day. Fatigue be damned, and at 4:00 in the morning or so, you start getting a little heavy lidded as it is. Yeah. I need to be able to see everything, and I'm running on coffee and bad intentions, but you can only drink so much caffeine,
Yeah, no, exactly. Just fueled on like you said, just nervous energy and hate. That's it.
So
it brings all the boys to the yard.
Well, dude, that's that's pretty sweet though. So cosmetic surgery covered by insurance, that's not such a bad thing.
Yeah.
It's like you basically got like the surgery that became popular with like, girls to make their like eyes look bigger on Instagram photos, right? It's like the Instagram eyelid surgery.
I was listening to one of you guys' episodes, and there's something about hair transplants.
Yeah, the Turkish.
I remember that.
Yeah, the Turkish hair transplants are wild.
Turkish hair transplants. Yeah, I remember that. Dude, I did a lot of research on that after we talked about it too. That's like a real.
It's real.
That's a real thing.
All right, and Carrie, you are froze. You might have to just pop out and then pop back in again. And then we got a good question from Banana Goat. If you get a chance to, and it may have just froze on his end altogether, and he'll pop in as a new one. But yes, if you guys are just coming in, This is our friend Cracker Nasty, the legend, the myth. He is not made up. He is not some character that Nick created. He is real. And we're just going over the stories.
To be fair.
Yeah. And if you guys have questions, we will have hopefully some time at the end to be able to go through. His AT&T minutes are up on his burner phone.
That's exactly it. Oh, that's it.
Unbelievable.
Amazing. Yeah, I sent you over something we could talk about while we're waiting him to come back on. I was working on a cool design, and I popped it out on the CNC. This thing's like 2 feet wide.
Yeah, set the stage on this. What is this? What's this bad boy all about?
Dude, so I wanted to do, so Jill got me thinking about doing wall hangings of like evil eyes and like the watching eye symbols and stuff. They're pretty cool. And so I wanted to kind of mock one up, and I had this cheap piece of had this real crappy piece of just white plywood. It's called just white wood plywood. It's striated, cheap crap, like $20 a panel. Yeah. So I pulled this eye out through it and worked with 2 different designs and kind of pulled them together, and it came out pretty cool. Like the wood's so crappy it falls apart when it gets thin, but it actually kind of made a neat kind of effect. So I don't know, might be kind of cool to look at if we can.
Yeah, let's take a look here, and then we do have Mr. Cracker back with us. And all right, let me go ahead and show this bad boy real quick.
He went back and hit 7-Eleven real quick to recharge his minutes.
So here's the eye.
Yeah, that's pretty cool though, huh? It's kind of like it's an abstract kind of way of doing it, but it's a neat way of using the negative space with colors behind it. That came out pretty cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, people will be seeing more of these pop back up. You'll see crazy, weird eyeball carvings coming out of the wood shop.
Love it. All right, let's go ahead and bring back in Mr. Cracker Nasty. And Mr. Nasty, as long as this pops up here, I'm just giving him a little bit of trouble again.
It's okay.
There we are.
Yeah, so phone dies because it literally overheats as we're doing live stream and I'm holding it.
We got short time left. We got 10 minutes left.
All
we got a
right.
good question from Banana Goat, and he says, as a land-based angler in Tampa, could you give me some recommendations on getting into some redfish or snapper soon? Been using mostly live shrimp. Appreciate any advice, man.
Absolutely. I'm originally, from the Tampa area, and I'd say anywhere. Number one, a kayak would be great and really extend your reach. But the Cockroach Bay area, you can wade that all around Fort DeSoto. Wade. You want to look for healthy grass beds, and live shrimp under a popping cork is going to do wonders for you. Shrimp get kind of sucky in the summertime. If you can get pilchards or greenbacks, we call them in Tampa Bay, and throw some of those out there, catch them with a cast net, and that's only going to increase your odds. But there's plenty of redfish in Tampa Bay. The flats around the Skyway Bridge, good to wade. Wading is gonna be the ticket for that, and cover some ground. If you can get on a kayak, even better. Good question.
Okay. Yeah. Heck yeah.
Any good run-ins with, because this is probably a common question, but sharks? What's the shark life like there?
I do some spearfishing too in my personal time. I don't take clients to do it because it's a bad idea. But yeah, we got a lot of them, and right now they're chasing the tarpon, which can be 150-pound fish, and they're biting a tarpon. Come back with just the head with one bite. So these things are massive. 14-foot hammers and giant 12-foot bulls. I don't go around the bridges this time of year because that's where the tarpon migration is. But I try to give them a healthy distance, and when I'm spearing, I'm happy to give them a little poke. I don't fire the gun at them because that's a one shot and you're done type deal, and you want to keep it so you can keep them at arm's length. But for the most part, unless you got a bleeding fish, they're not going to mess with you. I lose a ton of fish to sharks on hook and line fishing,
I bet.
because ton of sharks and barracudas and Goliath grouper, which we don't call them Jewfish anymore because it's, I guess people don't like that word, but that's what they were forever, all of eternity.
Interesting that we just had that topic. But yeah,
We did.
Yeah, interesting. But there's what Goliath grouper? What the hell is that?
Yeah, that's the largest member of the grouper species, and they used to be fair game, and now they're a protected species, so you can't take them. So they're just growing out of control and eating everything on the reefs and on the wrecks.
Oh
And
man.
yeah, they'll come up. I had a keeper sized grouper get eaten by a Goliath grouper boat side, and that fish was about 400 pounds. Just came up and absolutely drenched me. I was reaching down for the fish, and the Goliath ate this, 25-pound grouper right out of my hands.
Wow.
And he's big old kick of his tail splashed me.
I mean,
I wish I had that on video.
A 25-pound grouper is a sizable.
Oh,
grouper.
that's a 33-inch, 35-inch fish.
Wow.
And it just like inhaled it.
Big and fat too. They're big round type of
Yeah.
fish. They're not like a long skinny fish.
No.
So sharks, we got them.
Damn.
And there's sharks, plenty of sharks in the Tampa Bay area for the same reasons. Plenty to eat.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Banana
Yeah,
Goat
I'm up here.
circled back real quick and he said, keep to the grass is the point I'm taking away.
Yeah. I for redfish, I'd stick to the grass, and oyster bars are a good area to fish for reds. But nice, healthy grass beds in, let's say, 3 to 4 feet of water. You don't want to get much deeper than that if you're wading, but around Fort DeSoto and around Cockroach Bay, healthy grass beds, 3 to 4 foot of water, and shrimp under one of those clackling corks with a little wire thing that makes a sound that kind of calls them in. That's good for trout too.
See, so perfect. Dude,
And then-
so 3 to 4 feet of water, tall grass, Tampa Bay. That reminds me exactly of the story that I told where you and I drifted and lost track of time and with dead batteries got right in the path of a big ass tanker that was floating through there and we drifted out a little bit.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, we couldn't start the boat. Now that is old Carrie. New Carrie would never do that. I'm a professional sailor now. You can never have too many batteries or too much fuel on a boat unless you're on fire.
You really Okay.
Yeah.
And back to Channing.
Yeah. And so Channing wants to know, what's your favorite fish to fish? What's your most fun?
My favorite thing to catch is probably wahoo. It's the second fastest fish in the ocean, and it's the most delicious in my opinion.
Wow.
They take some specialized gear, but when they hit at about 60 miles an hour.
Wow.
And they're just all striped missile worth of pissed off animals.
Wow.
70-pound fish, and you troll for them going up to 20 miles an hour. So you're going 20 miles an hour. This fish is going 60, and that strike is, and you take that 50-pound animal that's built for speed and combine those two forces. That's a strike, and it'll just hearing the reel scream when they hit. It'll just make you jump out of your chair, scare the hell out of you if you're not ready for it. But you never are ready for it, so it scares the hell out of me every time. I love it.
Oh, I believe it. In Lake Michigan, my favorite was steelhead because they were runners, but they were also jumpers. And my best fish I ever had, I was setting the line out just about 300 feet, get ready to go down on the downrigger. It came up, snapped on the surface, pulling this bad boy in. He jumped over the lines again and again and was just all over the place, dude. We got him in, but so fun, so crazy to catch.
Tarpon are big jumpers too, and they get big. That's a big sport fish. Not really a great fish to eat because they're worth more alive than they are on a plate commercially. From a tourism aspect, kind of like sailfish, same deal. Another big jumper, but worth more alive than dead. But downriggers, we do quite a bit of downriggers for wahoo too. Wahoo and kingfish use downriggers for them.
Oh man, kingfish! I remember eating smoked kingfish dip down there. You have always had your hands on the recipe for that.
Yeah, I've got a giant smoker now. It's ridiculous.
Dude, I remember sitting down there in your place in Marathon and sitting there, and like your buddy shows up with this big ass shoulder of tuna, and we got this kingfish dip, and we're just sitting there standing around in your kitchen, and we have like all the intentions of slicing ahi into making like seared ahi steaks because that's what some people were wanting for salads. And we're just slicing
None of that sucks.
Just dipping it in ponzu, sitting there.
Exactly.
And next thing you know, a whole chunk of tuna is just gone, kingfish gone. Like,
yeah, we do seafood like they do cigarettes in prison. You know, we just you need something from your buddy. You know, you slide him some stone crabs. You need, you know, I need help with my picking up my trailer at the boat ramp, swinging around for me. I got a few lobster tails in the freezer for you. You know, that kind of. Cool. We're very barter systemy.
That's the way it is, man. Stuff in freezer. I told the story of the alligator, the alligator head in the freezer at the fish farm.
Yeah, there was a bunch of alligator meat and tail meat. It was like that was supposed to be for consumption, but that was a special kind of stink. There's no getting that smell out of that a freezer that goes out like that when you got, you know, it's summertime in Florida and you got, you know, dead lizard in there for a week. Dude,
yeah,
that whole operation just needs to go away. Don't even open it.
No, just burn the whole place down at that point. That's just
we get those wild hogs, and then I think weren't we like testing calibers in a hog's head? Like it was sitting. I don't know if that was me and you or not, but
we were
like, oh well, we'll just wait for it to kind of decompose, and then we'll be able to see, you know, impact wounds, you know, on these different calibers. And so you go back a week later, I'm like, oh, that still looks the same as it did. Yeah. And I go to pick it up with it, but it stinks, right? So I go to pick it up with a flathead shovel, and every piece of what was inside that furry exoskeleton just liquefied and just in a green maggot juice. Bro.
Ooh, the only reason I even remember that happening is because the way that we tracked which holes were going to be which calibers, we took the casings and we stuck them in the dirt in front of the head in the dirt. And that's how
science.
Like golf tees for science, right?
Somebody's got to do it. Jeez,
not all heroes wear capes.
Facts.
Wow. Okay, well, I'm gonna link in the chat again, you guys. The link to Carrie's Hennessy, sportfishing.com, and check it out in the Keys. Is this mainly a summer thing, or is this all year round when you're not working?
Yeah. Our winter's your summer.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever, man. I'm like I said, I'm on a ship every other month, but if your audience wants to get in touch with me, I can hook them up with another trusted local guy if I'm not in town, and if I am in town, let's give any friends of the show 20% off.
That's cool.
Yeah, love
Just
that.
tell them that, you know, they heard me on the live stream, and you got the deal now. The hookup has been had.
I love it. Well, Cracker, it was fun getting to talk again with you. I'll let Nick kind of send off the show today for our quickest hour ever.
I mean,
I'm glad we could make it, guys. I'm glad we can make it happen.
Dude, you know what? Chasing down our collective schedules is kind of like chasing butterflies with a hammer, which you know, I'm not above. So here, the fruits of our labor have paid off, and here we are all to enjoy them. Hopefully, one of the times coming up this fall, it'll be Carrie and I sitting somewhere like that with water behind us, and we'll be on the same screen. I think that'll be a way to do it. We'll have to do the next one in person. But
do the next one from the sandbar in the clear water, like civilized humans.
Dude, I love it. But due to poor decision-making skills and bad life choices, here I am stuck up here in New England. And there you are, of course, with the best of intentions and
luck of the Irish.
Oh yeah, luck of the Irish. Exactly right. We can swap that one back and forth forever. But no, thanks for coming on, man. It's funny. I always like giving people out there an actual face to my stories because there are so many of them and they involve some characters. And without eventually seeing them, they do start just to sounding like imaginary friends because, and it's funny whenever they all start seeing each other and they all start like, oh my God, he does exist. So this was good. Help people think that I'm a little less delusional than I actually
We weren't all bad. We weren't all bad.
No, Boy Scouts. You kidding me? There's manuals for life that are crafted after our collective existences. So,
if you're allowed to tell, you're probably not allowed to tell that story of your buddy Dan who left his email open on or left his Facebook open on your computer at your house.
You'll have to, as soon as we go off the live, you'll need to tell Dan that story. So, okay, so everyone out there, there's more stories to be had.
We got stories.
They can't be continued on the air, so we're gonna have to let all you guys go for now. And we will see you next Tuesday, as usual. Same place, same channel.
All right, guys. Have a great week. Stay amazing.